Well, it's about darn time I finally came back here. How long has it been? Like freaking 2 weeks or something like that? It's been way too long. Anyways, public domain Spider-Man speed art and story. Let's get to it. Enough of me talking, let's get drawing. Everyone deserves a second chance. Should that second chance go to the man who killed Ben Cooper's father? Benjamin J. Cooper is not your average scrawny, timid teenager. He's a brilliant boy with tons of intellectual potential, yet he is always overshadowed by the flashy accomplishments of his older sister Isabella, aka Miss Perfect, aka the Golden Child. Call her whatever you want, but Ben sees Isabella as a thorn on his side that he can never get rid of. But one day, on a school field trip to the Central Park Zoo, a new entomology exhibit was finally open to the public. One of the researchers, Professor Purestein, was out to reveal one of her most recent findings while exploring the Amazon rainforest. One of her findings was a rare species of arachnid with a yellow and black color scheme closely related to the yellow garden spider, yet different in a strange way. Eventually, Ben and his class made their way over to the reveal of the new spider. Thank you all for coming here today. It is with great pleasure that I exclusively reveal to you the new species of spider that I call the golden orb drop arachnid. During our excavation, we managed to find exactly 10 of these spider species. Professor, sorry for interrupting, but I only see 9 in there. Stunned by this news, the professor closely examined the enclosure to ensure they were all there. She realized she was one spider short. Don't worry everyone, please remain calm. I'm sure the arachnid hasn't gone that far. The professor was right. The spider wasn't actually far. In fact, the 10th spider managed to escape the enclosure and made its way to the back of the room where Ben was standing, descending to the back of his neck, then biting him. Though the bite was the size of a pin needle, it was like a shot from a bullet. Ben let out a gut-wrenching scream and fell on the floor as his body began to ache and sweat. It was as if he was suffering in the depths of hell itself. Eventually, Ben was taken to the ER and given proper attention needed to help him recover. Within a couple of days, he recovered appropriately, though with a few surprising amount of changes to his physical form. Ben couldn't grasp what it was, but he knew he felt different. He soon realized what those changes were as soon as he went to school. When Clint Rogers, aka Westfield's high school's star quarterback, and his girlfriend Veronica Withers, the star cheerleader, approached Ben to have one of their little chats, so to say. Hey Cooper, you got my homework done for me? You know, Clint, this is 1980s style bullying. I thought we were done with this nonsense. We're only gonna be done with this nonsense once I graduate with the perfect scores you have in your hands, so hand it over, you wimp. As Clint was about to grab Ben by his shirt collar, Ben instantaneously reacted with such efficiency and switched positions with him. Now Ben was holding Clint by his shirt collar. What do you think you're doing, Cooper? I swear, this was completely by impulse. I didn't know how to do any of this. So you think you're tougher than me, huh? Alright then, little Cooper, prove it to me. Come on, swing at me. Better yet, how about I get things started? Clint then swung a right hook towards Ben's face, and Ben saw the world begin to slow down as he could sense the swing going right to his face. Because of this, he managed to dodge almost every attack that Clint would throw towards him. Towards the end of the fight, Ben put all the final energy towards a massive blow to the chest and knocking him back 10 feet. The entire crowd looking at this fight against Clint and Ben was in complete and total shock. What the heck did you do to him, you freak? Shouted Veronica. Ben, still in shock, didn't even know how to respond. Some time goes by and Ben and Clint were called to the principal's office. To Clint, this is nothing more than a typical Tuesday afternoon, but for Ben, he felt like he was in deep trouble. Even though Ben was still in trouble, he didn't focus on what would happen later. He was still in complete shock given how he managed to finally win a fight against his bully. Are you listening to me, Mr. Cooper? Now, I'm gonna let you off with a warning this time. Seeing how I know you and you don't tend to cause trouble this way, I'm giving you a second chance. And if I were you, I would take it. You understand that? Yes, sir, Ben answered. Good. Now I've given you this chance. I don't want to see you back in this office for this reason. Am I understood? Yes, sir. Second chances. This concept wasn't unheard of. This was the code instilled by Ben's father. You see, Ben's father happened to be a local small town hero. One of those things he was known for was the fact that he managed to give second chances to those who probably didn't deserve it, ranging from kids taking candy from a store to thugs stealing a car radio, and even gang members causing trouble in his part of the neighborhood. No matter what, whenever you come across Mr. Cooper, you have one of two choices, and if you screw up, you're given one last chance, and that's it. Benny, my boy, there's one thing you need to remember. Everyone deserves a second chance just to make up for what they've done the first time. Unfortunately, those were some of the last words on that night. A thug from the Night Thrasher gang, a group of thugs Ben's father fought off occasionally, threw a final blow to his face, making him catch his balance into oncoming traffic, and well, you can tell what happened there. It was a devastating sight having to see your father getting run over by oncoming traffic due to a gang pushing him in. As Ben takes the time to understand what truly happened to him, he realized that all of these strange new aspects of himself were derived from the spider bite at the zoo, and became much more evident when he started shooting webs from his wrist and fingertips, which felt super weird and gross at the time. Ben then began training and testing potential hypotheses about his newfound abilities. Over time, he could master climbing and walking on walls and rooftops and other multiple different kinds of surfaces, as well as projecting his webbing at a specific target, his wrist being able to create extensive webbing for platform assistance, and his fingertips for more direct attacks. With a rough understanding of how some of his powers work, he realized he has the potential to do a lot of things with them. One thing that comes into mind is going on a night patrol and looking out for his neighborhood, like his father did back then. At first, Ben was highly embarrassed at the thought of going out and doing exactly what his father did, but those thoughts left him, and he pursued taking care of the problem immediately. As time passed, Ben obtained a disguise in the form of a yellow hoodie and a black undershirt, trying to pay homage to the spider that initially bit him, giving him his newfound arachnid abilities. After all, Ben Cooper doesn't need this kind of attention in his personal life, what his father would have done. Eventually, Ben's spider-based persona gets enough attention from the locals and even local news outlets, becoming curious to know more about him. At this point, the only thing his part of New York has ever discussed is this new arachnid superhero. Some call him the yellow wall crawler, the concrete garden spider, though there are those who have came across this hero and they reported that this hero simply wanted them to call him by one name, the Spider. Ben's pursuit of his superheroics on the side helped him develop an immense sense of confidence, so all those who picked on him no longer bothered getting near him because he obtained more confidence and stood up for himself. Also, others were reminded of what happened if you cross Ben Cooper that way. On top of the confidence booster, all his sister's antics of being the golden child no longer bother him, which in turn actually bothered her. Who would have thought that this spider-biting Ben could have helped him obtain a sense of purpose? He can finally leave his sister's shadow, finally being the man he knew he was destined to be. Not only that, he would eventually go on and create his very own proper supersuit. Of course, trouble is bound to follow when one puts on a superhero mask. On a night like any other, Ben encountered a group of thugs who appeared to be mugging a few people. He managed to hold himself while fighting off several of the goons. Ben gets a better view of who he's fighting. Amidst the fight, Ben suggests that these thugs were the members of the nefarious Night Thrasher gang. Not only that, but he also remembered one of the faces from that night when he lost his father. As soon as Ben locked his eyes on the thug, the spider was consumed by rage, to the point where the spider cracked and broke a few ribs and legs of the rest of the gang, only having this one particular scumbag run for his life. He was playing a game of cat and mouse, or better yet, a fly caught in the spider's web. Ben chased down this thug for a few blocks and managed to corner him in an abandoned building. The thug is in fear of what will happen to him and shouts,
"What do you want with me? What did I ever do to you?"
Ben answers, "Oh, you didn't do anything to me, but you did do something to someone that I hold dear to me. Why did you kill the man who made it bearable to live in this godforsaken world? Why did you kill my father, Nicholas Cooper?" The thug, in complete and total shock, stood still, realizing he was the reason why this spider guy even existed. He was about to make a run for it, only to then be stopped and to be held by his collar, ready to be beaten to death. "I had to kill you right now for what you've done. An eye for an eye, a life for a life. I'll have every bit of joy ending you so that way nobody can suffer the way I did, so no one loses someone they love ever again. As Ben looks into the eyes of the man who killed his father, he sees the purified fear running in his eyes, questioning for a second. If I kill him, am I any better than he is? Am I any better than a common street thug or a murderer? This is when the thought of his father reminding him everyone deserves a second chance, so they can make up for the fact that they screwed up the first time. To Ben, he had every reason to end this man's life, but he didn't want to stoop to his level. At that moment, Ben gave a solid right hook across the face of this thug, throwing him out the window, only then for him to shoot his webs, holding him by his shirt, making him hang on the side of the building. Then called the local authorities to have him arrested on the charges of murder, theft, and every other form of crimes that he has committed during his time being a thug. As all was said and done, Ben stood atop a building, looking up to the night sky. Well, Dad, I did it. I gave him a second chance. I hope I did the right thing. Weeks go by, and Ben is heading over to school, and he sees a car chase in progress. And without hesitation, he enters into the closest alleyway, gets the spider suit on, and swings through the city, ready to give those in need a second chance. Everyone may have mocked Ben Cooper, the typical timid teenager, but now they'll soon be amazed at the awesome power of the spider. And there you go. That is the full origin story of Ben Cooper, aka the Spider, my public domain rendition of Spider-Man. I'm aware this was a longer form of a video, but I really wanted to try making, this storytime content. Also, to everyone who has followed me thus far, thank you so much for being so patient with me. Obviously, the month of February was a little bit hectic because, again, I had some fun personal life events that unfortunately came into conflict with me making this video, and of course, the unfortunate timing of having to go to work today. I was trying to actually, this video would have been out already at a much more earlier time had I not had to do that. So there's that. But outside of that, I hope you guys truly enjoyed today's video. If you guys really liked it, hit the like button. If you guys want to suggest some new ideas for me to kind of touch on later down the road, leave it in the comments down below. I really do read your comments, and yes, I will be getting to some of those ideas later down the road. Trust me, it's a process. I am going to get to them eventually. And if you like what you see here and you guys want to see more of it, hit the subscribe button and, of course, the bell notification so that way you guys get notified for whenever I make another video like this. But outside of that, I'm going to end the video here. So to my fellow weirdos out there, stay awesome, stay weird, and keep life to the easiest. Always remember that art inspires all, but you can inspire more. All right, guys, keep it easy, but always remember to stay ultra. Okay. Finally about time I got to this video. Jesus Christ, man. Anyways, time to tackle on to my next topic here. Well, seeing how I made essentially the Spider-Man for this Marvel universe, I could try creating the Spider-Man for the DC universe. Speaking, I always thought Static Shock would be that. Static Shock, huh? Let me see what I can do with that.